Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You what? God design, God design.
Well, good evening. Welcome to the Boerboels Show. I'm your host, Jordan Pittman. This is where we discuss the Boerboel breed that we love, where we give you all the information, all the data that we have acquired in the last 17 years of being involved with this magnificent breed, the dogs that we believe to be the very best dog breed in the world. That's why we breed them. And every time we come to this show, we bringing you information based off of scientific backed research. These are not just our opinions, but there are facts behind this information. Everybody, I hope that everyone had a great week. This week was rather eventful. We retested about a Joku. We did a 10-mile run. We started out with a 5-mile run, and it ended up being a 10-mile run. And we think that that's I feel that it is so amazing because it's like my dream. That's what I like to do with the dogs. This is what attracted me to the Boerboel, the fact that they are athletic, that they are impressive and capable of accomplishing things that very small dogs can do, that only small dogs can do. For example, the extended lifespan. Boerboels have one of the longest lifespans for a big dog breed. The Boerboel is athletic. The Boerboel is not an oversized couch potato. And I thought that that's significant. So, I feel like, hey, I'm going to celebrate this. And it really, that was kind of in response when you get close to, when you rise and you become, I guess people see from the outside looking in as one of the top dog breeders, you're going to face a lot of criticism and hate. And sometimes I let it, I feel like the dogs are my family. The dogs are my children. The dogs are an extension of me, and I defend them. And so I took Joku out. I get into my feelings. I get in my head sometimes. So I take Joku out, ran him for 10 miles. And I came back and I did the lives and I was letting everybody know about it. And I issued out a challenge. If somebody feels like they have a dog that can compete, that can hang with Joku, then bring them on and let's get it on. Let's really see what this breed can do, and let's celebrate it. I feel like that's something that's important to me, the dog being able to at least willing and attempt to keep up with the human at all costs. Part of the breed description, original description, was it should be able to accompany the farmer across the plantation. Keyword here, plantation, across the plantation for the extended hours of the day. And when we're talking about a plantation, it's like from as far as the person can see, it's different than a farm. Farm maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 acres. Plantation is 100, 150, 200, 300 serious acreage. So the dog should be able to cover the distance of a plantation in the day. And in my interpretation of that means that this dog should be athletic, it should be moving. And it's not saying that anybody that has something different than what we offering is incorrect, because as a breeder, you have to define what is important to you. And a lot of people talk about, well, yeah, Joku. I mean, Joku is my personal dog. He's my favorite dog. He's my dog. He is an elite working dog. He is a top level athlete. At the same time, it's important to consider this day and age, the type of dogs that we're going to be producing. Will he fit in to a modern society? And I think that that's where we have to draw the distinction. We have to really evaluate what's important to us and what's important to, come on, people. What's up, family? So what's important to the market? What's important to the market? And you have to take into consideration, are you breeding you want to have the best of both worlds. I think the key in anything that you do is going to be balance. You never want to do nothing in excess. The key is moderation. So with that being understood, we're going to get into some talking about preservation breeding. And that is the whole premise of developing a breed standard, defining what this breed is, and then producing generations that we can predict reliably the type of appearance and the behaviors associated with this definition. Preservation breeding is employed across plants, animals, and traditionally it's with plants that we use for growing and producing crops, and as well as livestock. And it's important to understand why. Let me make this clear why this is important with a breed like the African Boerboel, with a dwindling gene pool. And this is something that we need to understand, because as a group, remember, we are all connected, we are all related. And when we eliminating dogs from the gene pool by not employing them and using their genetics, let's use the liver nose for an example. If we eliminate the liver nose dogs come from brown, black nose face dogs, they can be produced in the litter, but we eliminate the liver nose because that is a disqualifying characteristic. When you eliminate the liver nose gene, you also are eliminating valuable genetics. So it's a matter of what we're going to do, how we're going to move this breed forward. And I feel like it's also a discussion that we should be having in private and we should be having in public. Everybody is involved. We are related. At the end of the day, if we continue to breed dogs that is only champion or only the most sought after members of the breed, we're eliminating an entire class of the population. Gene pool dilution. Thank you very much for that. That is a great way to describe what's happening, what is going to occur, because we are not allowing new, and we have a closed stud book where no fresh genetics are allowed to populate and be included into the breeding program. So that's something that is important to understand. We're going to discuss that with our panel. We're going to bring in a special guest coming up soon. But before we get started, I got to talk about this challenge, because I'm not ducking no fate. Somebody has called out Joku and they want to do a competition. So I'm not going back. I'm not backing down. This dog is a top-notch dog. This dog is celebrated. We're going to do it. We're going to set it up. We're going to put on a triathlon for the most athletic mastiff. That's what I believe that the Boerboel should be. That's my personal thing for the Boerboel. What I really aim to produce is the most athletic mastiff. So we're going to be breeding. We're going to do a competition. We're going to have a real evaluation of these qualities and these characteristics that we consider valuable to the breed. I feel like the athleticism, you definitely have to do the athleticism because we want a dog that can work. We want a dog that can keep up. We want a dog that is willing to keep up, a dog that may start to suffer from fatigue. And despite suffering from fatigue, despite the pain associated with the body telling the mind to slow down and stop, the dog pursues, the dog perseveres. I think that's a very valuable quality. A lot of times I've seen larger dogs quit. So we want to maintain that. I feel like the dog should also be powerful. That's mentioned in the breed standard. A Boerboel is a large, imposing figure of strength. Well, that's not something that you can measure with a visual test. And me personally, I work out with bigger guys, and oftentimes, their size can fool you. There's not always the biggest. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And so we want to measure the performance, the physical strength, the power. So I propose a 100 yards with 100 pounds, cover that distance in a certain amount of time, maybe 200 yards with 100 pounds. So that's down and back. You should be able to accomplish that within a reasonable amount of time. We can set it up. We're going to talk about that. What do y'all think would be fair? I think that it's important to have a little bit of basic obedience. We definitely need to have a dog that is manageable. We need to be able to measure that. Can the dog compete? When we're talking about measuring a dog versus another dog and his breeding assets, his values, his virtues, we want to be able to measure and see and quantify these abilities. And I think it's only fair if we have it set up where a dog go through a series of obstacles, sit down, stay with a distraction, with a perceived perpetrator. We could use a decoy. You need to set up some type of a protection demonstration where the dog shows that it is protective and checking in. What's up, family? So we want to see these. We want to see all of these traits. We want to see them on display. We want to celebrate them. We want to measure them, and then we're going to crown the most athletic master with this. What it's really have been one of my goals with the United Boerboel Club. We want to have a quantifiable, measurable evaluation, a certification, verification for the breeding stock. And we want to do that in a way that is truly measurable, not just a visual assessment. So we're going to have Joku is going up against Shaka. And we're gonna have a battle. We're going to set it up, and then we want to also include. We're gonna open it up for the panel. Anybody have any suggestions? Anybody have any suggestions that we think should be included into this evaluation in order to determine who has the most athletic mastiff? And this is not taking anything away from any other individual, anybody's program. This is just me doing this for myself. It's something that I my preference. It's a preference thing, and this is what I believe. This is where I celebrate the Boerboel. This is what I feel like the Boerboel should be. This is the capabilities of the breed, and so that's where we're gonna have it. Now, this dog that y'all seen, Exotic Shaka, it's a pancake and outlaw son. Very impressive. He showed his ability to maintain his presence in the dog park, busy dog park. He's been on display. He's very athletic. He's one of the best dogs that one of the best dogs ever. He really, I feel, is my ideal. 165, 150 pounds, 150 to 165 pounds, extremely athletic, driven, intelligent, very a formidable opponent, a worthy opponent. So looking forward to developing that, setting it up, setting the date. Joku is raw talent. We're going to work with Joku. He's definitely been trained to do the protection work. We're going to get some basic obedience on Joku. And then we're going to make sure that we put this out there for the world to see and celebrate the capabilities of the African Boerboel and everything that they can be. There's so much that this breed has to offer. I feel like it's important to recognize the utility of the African Boerboel, because it is a farm dog, and farm work has so many different chores associated with the task of maintaining a farm. So because of that, we have to have we need to celebrate the utility. The dog should be versatile. It should be capable. It should be able to do a variety of tasks in a day. It's very different than a dog that is strictly designed as a herder or designed as a hound dog and selected for those characteristics. The Boerboel is versatile. It's a utility breed, and it should be able to accomplish a variety of tasks. And that means that on this farm, we may be herding sheep. We may have a large sheep farm. On this farm, I may be harvesting wheat. So I'm going to have different type of obstacles over here than I would over there, where different type of predators and so on and so forth. And a utility breed will be able to fit in all of these different capacities. And let me open up the link. So anybody that's written for the panel to join, we're going to open up the link, looking for our special guest. We got some, because it's not all about me. I would like to know what the rest of the community has. If you would like to join in, you're welcome to join us. Hit the link. All you have to do is follow the instructions. Once you hit the link, it's very simple. We want to know, we want input from the community. It's not just me. What other traits and characteristics? Because at the end of the day, we want everybody to participate, and we want to celebrate the dog's virtues. We want to know where they are and what dogs have what, who has what. Pardon me, Boerboels. Somebody banging on my door. Okay, forgive me, Boerboels. Forgive me, Boerboels. My children. That was my children banging on the door. All right. Last week we opened up the panel, and I can't see. I got the camera right in front. I cannot see. The screen. Last week we had invited special guests. Everybody came on. We was discussing the trike. We missed Rhino Boerboels. Didn't see him on the thing. But we're gonna keep it pushing. If y'all want to join in and join in the discussion, you feel free to join us. Welcome. We it's open to whoever you want to talk. You want to weigh in. But like I said, the goal is to celebrate the breed, the virtues of the breed, put on display the qualities, the things abilities that the Boerboel possesses. There is so much that this breed can do. We're talking about a balanced temperament, a very intelligent dog, a very observative dog, a decision-making dog that is constantly involved with the day-to-day ongoings. And if we just look at the size, we just look at the muscling, and we don't take these things into consideration, then we don't base our selections for breeding stock and breeding criteria for these various traits that's associated with the breed, then they will be lost. It's very similar to certain, like I will give you an example with the quail, because I know about quail. You have a wild variety of quail that hunt, they breed naturally, they're very small. These dogs, the birds are, then, they can survive in the bush on their own. And then you have the commercial variety of quails that have been bred, artificially selected, not for values that allow them to survive in the wild, but for size, for their ability to produce eggs. And those qualities outweigh their natural survival, their ability to survive. So what happens is the ability to reproduce on its own has been lost. The quail no longer sits and broods on its own eggs. The quail doesn't. It has to be, their eggs have to be incubated. And I think that we can draw the similarities between the quail and other domesticated livestock varieties and plant varieties because they would not survive without the assistance of humans. We also see dog breeds going this way. I'm gonna get the I mention the bully breed often because the bully breeders are the bully breed has been overpopulated, oversaturated. We see a lot of bully breeders attracted to the Boerboel breed. And I use the bully breed as an example because it has been bred specifically for the way that it looks, nothing other than that. And we see those dogs have a serious, some of the dogs can't even walk. I went to dog shows with the bully guys, and they got the dogs walking in wagons. This dog can't even walk to the stage. They got the dog walk in a wagon, and then when they get to the stage, they carry the dog up the stairs, and then they set the dog up. And then sometimes these dogs start overheating from just standing there. So we're talking about a dog that can't breed naturally, can't produce naturally, can't even walk naturally, at risk from overheating. This is a dog that was a hardy breed originally. The original pit bull is something that can survive extremely harsh conditions. Extremely harsh conditions. We don't want the Boerboel to go that way. We want the Boerboel to remain intact. We want to preserve certain traits and characteristics that we find value. And I think it's important for breeders to establish when they say their program. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Savage Kingdom is the biggest head, biggest chest, biggest bone. He's breeding with a goals. He's breeding with a purpose. Southern Ohio Boerboels, true to standard Boerboels, game test Boerboels. I'm reading the most complete, and I'm just using these as fresh examples from our guests that have previously joined us. I want to set the standard, set an example for people that's coming behind us, that's coming for years to come. You gotta have a goal other than to just produce puppies. The goal for a breeder is to preserve, and you got different levels of breeding. You got elite breeders, and you got commercial breeders, you got intermediate, which is a blend of the elite breeders, which would be, I would say, and not saying that any breeder is more highly rated than the other, but they got different levels of dogs. And what happens with the elite, the elite dogs tend to be like show dogs, show champions, high scoring dogs, high appraised dogs. They celebrated for their virtues, that their physical assets. And typically what happens with the elite class of Boerboels, or the elite class of dog breeds in general, is those dogs tend to have their own, let's say, clique. They have their own clan, and they tend to breed amongst each other and then retain breeding stock from those dogs. The intermediate population will pull down dogs from there. They may not be show dogs, but they still have value. They still are being bred and selected based off of certain traits and characteristics. Then you have the commercial breeder that is mostly breeding to make money and satisfy. So they breed it indiscriminately. They just produce, they have to have puppies. And the problem with gene pools is the elite class gene pool shrinks because those dogs, they tend to not mix with the other classes of dogs. They're not using dogs from the commercial class. They're not using dogs from the intermediate class. And then we have this one, we have the elite dogs with, oh, there we go. There go my friend. Let's open it up, y'all. We got a special guest in the building. Y'all know who it is. He's came back. I'll let him tell you about it. Savage Kingdom Boerboels.
There it goes. That's my man. That's my man. How you doing, brother?
Ho. Let me see. You say what now, bro?
What's good, brother? Can you hear me?
I got you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. How's
Thank you,
everybody
man.
doing,
Thank
man?
you for
How's it
coming,
going?
man.
Again, appreciate you for having me like always.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that this you got some very valuable insights, and I think that the people really love to hear from a high level the way that you do your business. You know, I'm always excited when you come on because I'm looking to pick up on some of that game and how you had such great success in such
Appreciate you,
a
brother.
small amount of time. I'm trying to get like you, man.
Man, and vice versa. I'm trying to get like you, man. So, and we keep bouncing off of each other, man. We're gonna be at the top where we want to be, and it's all for the Boerboel. It's all for the breed. Sharing some of
Exactly.
this knowledge we got. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I was talking because we had touched on line breeding a little bit, and
Last week. Okay.
I wanted to kind of like dive into that a little bit more and go deeper because I think it's important to understand how that practice does have value and the reason why something like that will be employed.
Okay. Uh, why the line breeding would be employed? Kind of branching off of what we did talked about last week. If everybody got a chance to watch the video, yeah,
Right. And if you didn't watch, you can always go back.
please do.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that we gotta get this. This has always been something that is important to me because of it determines our future. The
Yes.
the choices that we making today with our breeding decisions, the offsprings, those are the puppies of the big dogs, the breeding stock of the future.
Okay. Yeah.
And
And sort of like what we spoke about last week with the line breeding, just to touch on it again, is basically how we have four different types of Boerboel. Everybody knows there's the Mastiff, the Bulldog, the Hound, and the Terrier, and how you can get all four types in one litter. And basically, in my opinion, again, I'm just some guy on YouTube. It's because it hasn't been a lot of line breeding to get a type specific one type dog consistently. It's a lot of outcrossing to different types, mixing and matching. Now they're all purebred Boerboels, but it's no consistency in too many litters of what you get. You can get a range of different looking puppies, and in order to alleviate that, you have to line breed. You have to keep specifically going back to a certain blood or a certain type of looking dog to get that more consistently.
right. And the goal is to predict to produce dogs with some accurate predictions.
With some sort of certainty, that I know I'm breeding this for myself or for clients, whichever one you're doing it for. If you're doing it for your own self, what you want to do for your yard, or if you're doing it because this is something you're going to be sharing with the rest of the world, you want to know with as much accuracy as you can that this is what these puppies will look like. This is what the puppies will look like. This is what we're investing in the future, and not just looks, but also with the temperament. Also with the temperament and the structure and everything on down, you gotta have some consistency.
For sure. So let me ask. You had touched on something and it brought up to my mind. How people have you seen where I see comments sometimes on Facebook posts where people say that the breed is changing. Oh, it was originally the dog wasn't like that, and it's like to me, well, where did these dogs come from? Where did these dogs come from? If this isn't the original breed that we're breeding today, how did we arrive at this? How did we arrive at this dog? It definitely is related. I mean, I don't. It's very. I think that it's just crazy how
Things
much.
change. Things change, and it's not just because of us in selective breeding, but it's also due to evolution. I talk about this all the time. If you look at humans during World War II in the 1940s and that time, the average American was 5'9", 160 pounds, 150 pounds. They were smaller back then, and it has to do with uh, just the who you're attracted to, what you're breeding. You can look at Shaquille O'Neal, 7 feet tall or whatever. His first wife, Shawnee, was like 5'1". So did Shaquille have 7 feet tall babies? No, he had a bunch of 6 foot tall sons and daughters, right? And a lot of athletes talking about D1 babies. So if you want to have a D1 baby that can go to a certain college, that you know that your son, if you play football, basketball, baseball, and the highest way to make sure that your offspring makes it is to procreate with a D1 female, somebody who's made it in volleyball or female basketball, where she's 6'1", 6'2". But if you go with a girl that's 5 foot, you're bringing down that part of your gene, right? Of course,
Right.
we can't mate with our cousins, so that's out of the question. But I might be getting off the subject. But if you're not putting the same type dogs together or the same blood, you're going to have a lot of diversity, which is good in some aspects, but you're not going to get that exact looking dog that you want.
Right. So that's what I feel like. It's when people say that, it's kind of like they're not really hitting on the whole thing, because as these dogs have evolved, like you said, with the selection, if we trying to produce a dog that fits into society or fits into a
Yes.
certain mold or fits
Oh, I
into
got you.
a lifestyle, it's going to evolve. And like you said, if we selecting this for height, if we selecting for this athleticism, if we selecting for these, like you said, a D1 female, eventually we're going to arrive at a more athletic offsprings.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't think that it's fair to blame the breeder for the way that the breed has evolved. I think that the way that the breed has evolved from the original dog to 45, 50 years ago, it coincides with the way society has evolved.
Okay. And that's another thing. We live in America, and when you talk about preserving the breed, preserving it how it was in South Africa, man, like, so my Louisiana franchise has 100-acre ranch, right? But most of my clients have a 5,000 to 8,000 square foot lot. You know,
Right.
my clients don't have horses that the dog has to run behind. They're not herding cattle. So are you saying that we can only produce these dogs for people that have cattle, for people that have horses, for people who have ranches and stuff like that, livestock guardian? People still need their homes defended. And people tell me all the time, well, your dog can't jump a 6 foot fence, 8 foot fence. I don't want my dog to jump an 8 foot fence. That's a lawsuit.
Right.
He
running down the street.
Yeah, your dog can't run behind a horse for 8 miles. I don't got a horse. And all my dog has to do is make it from 50 feet from the back door to the front door. If he can make it 50 feet from the back door to the front door to protect my house, that's good. Like, I seen you did your 5 mile thing. These dogs will do that if you condition them. If you condition them, they'll do that. And you have to have that kind of lifestyle. Not too many people can go 5 miles like you, Jordan. I can't make it 50 feet. You know what I mean? But does that mean I can't own a Boerboel?
No, I think right. I don't think that that's fair. And or like you said, that's my personal preference. That's what I like.
Yes, sir.
That fits in for my lifestyle. I like to run. I like to ride the bike and stuff. But 9 times out of 10, man, that's too much dog. That's too much dog for the average person. That dog has already been cycled through 3 homes. Because he was, and if it wasn't for me, I don't think that he would have a place in this world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's elusive when people say, "Oh, that's you breeding Balto. He's too big. The original dog wasn't 180 pounds. The original dog, but guess what? The original dog is too much for the average human, the average modern civilized society. Like you said, we don't live. You got 5,000, 8 foot. You know what I'm saying? Square yard. I ain't got no ranch. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Who can handle? You see, Joku is on fire, man. When I brought him back. He's done the protection work, and the dog, I don't know about how you feel about the protection work, But I feel that is like so risky, man, because now this dog, I wish that Southern Ohio could speak on it. He said that, one of the dog will black out when they get into it. And then they just turn into piranhas, like they're just biting indiscriminately. And I have seen that too. He's in that frenzy mode where he's just using his mouth. Man, I'm scared to death. Once you condition that dog to engage with the human, now he's looking, and that dog can do some serious damage. We're talking about bone crushing power.
I'm exactly where I was. Me and you be right on the same page. And that's why they use Malinois and German Shepherds, dogs that are going to bite and it's going to hurt and you're going to surrender, but your bone's not getting broke. They might rip a little they might rip some flesh. It's going to hurt you, but police aren't using dogs that one bite is going to break your bone. They can't do that. Where if you have a suspect and you say stop resisting, and then you sit the dog on them, and the dog take literally, and people might think it's a joke, but literally take your hand off with a bite. You can't do that. That's
right.
why these dogs are guard dogs. They're not attack dogs. I tell people they'll make a lousy attack dogs because it's hard to tell a Boerboel, go bite him. Go bite him. A Boerboel's going to look, and if they need to bite, they're going to bite. And when they need to stop biting, generally they're going to stop. They're not going to, unless you put them in that mode where you like to say they're going to lose their mind. But these dogs, I tell them all the time, people all the time, these dogs aren't just going to hurt you and send you to the hospital with stitches. If they grab you by the throat, if they hit the wrong vein in your leg, that's going to be your last day on earth. And that's a liability.
Extreme liability.
Extreme liability.
And see, I don't talk about like the bad, and I don't think I talk really a lot. I try to keep it really positive and uplifting, but I gotta keep it balanced. I gotta keep it 100. It was a situation before where a lady had got attacked by her own Boerboels. Did you know that?
I heard about that. I think she lost her life in her own home.
Wow, yeah. So you do your research, you do your homework.
She lost her life in her own home.
Right. And that is something that you have to really see the intensity of a Boerboel to understand how dangerous that they can be.
Yes.
We often see the good side, them loving with children. We see them embracing the general public, people coming in and showering them with love. You rarely see that flip side where they turn into that maniac, that psycho, that dangerous, the lion hunter, the lion defender.
Yep. I tell people, go get a 30-pound turkey, take off the drumstick, and give it to a German Shepherd or any other dog, and watch them rip the flesh off of it, finally get down to the bone, take about 10 bites and crack the bone and keep chewing on the bone and eventually eat the bone. Versus give the same one to a Boerboel and watch them bite through the flesh, the first or the second bite. And again, these turkey bones are about the size, well, I got little wrists. I got little baby wrists, but they're about the size of my wrist. And watch them bite that in half the first time. If Barack, if Balto, somebody grabbed my wrist and is really in the mood and really pissed, they're taking my hand with them.
Yeah.
They're not biting my hand and my fingers hurt. And I'm like, let go of my hand. I'm pulling back a nub. And that's a liability.
And
that's a liability.
Guess what? Now the breed got a black eye.
Got a black eye.
Yeah, we got this breed is surging in popularity. We got tons of people that's buying into the dogs, that's becoming enthusiasts, that's getting involved with the dogs. And you got some people that's going to be looking for them to do this protection work. And I think that this has to be understood that the obedience, the intelligence, all of that, it's only certain dogs that should be put through that type of activity.
Yes, these dogs, again, they are a guard dog. That's what inherently they are. They are a guard dog. That's what they do. They protect. They don't attack. That's why you won't see dogs like the Fila Brazil. You heard of the Fila Brazil, the Brazilian Mastiff?
Oh yeah,
man eaters. So they're about the same size as the Boerboel. Again, we talking about the South African Mastiff, but you have the Fila Brazil, the Brazilian Mastiff. They'll kill you. instantly.
Yeah, you can't
And if
even
the
pet them.
Boerboel had that attitude, now the Boerboel has the same strength as the Fila Brazil. They're just a guard dog. And the Fila Brazil, they used to be the original slave hunting dogs. They're man killers. They will kill you. And
Yeah,
if a Boerboel had the Boerboel has the same capability of the Fila Brazil, but it doesn't have that mentality. If it did, this dog would be banned in America by the end of the year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No time flat.
yeah,
That Fila
banned.
Brazil. I mean, you can't. It's written in the standard. It's not approachable. Uh oh, bro, we lost you. Yeah, but it's written in the standard for the Fila Brasilio, which is the Brazilian Mastiff. If you're not familiar, like Big Brother said, this dog is the slave catcher. It's a estate guardian. Remember at that time that it was a poaching going on. There you go, bro. But this is a serious, intense variety. Is developed to strictly protect against is no strangers.
Hello, am I back?
Yeah, you back.
I kept getting phone calls, man. My apology. The phone
Uh,
rang. I'm transmitting from my phone, so I got a phone call. So
oh
I
yeah,
apologize, everyone.
yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're talking about.
So
But
where we live off, we were talking about the
the
Fila
feeler,
Brazil. Yeah.
yeah. And I think that the feeler, like you said, it's got that hunting because it was tracking down and that prey instinct. So they have that hound. They have more of a hound variety.
Yes.
People don't know about hound dogs is very prey oriented. When you start bringing up the size of the dog, then it can handle a larger prey. And then
Yes.
you start, Southern Ohio just came in. When you start talking about the human as a prey, now you're talking about a dog that has to be fearless, formidable, and capable of taking down a man. You're talking about a very dangerous dog, right?
Yes.
Naturally, dogs supposed to be kind of like friendly, engage, willing to engage with humans. This the way that they have evolved because it's domesticated. It's supposed to be able to live peacefully alongside us, not necessarily that with that level of aloof and suspicion.
Yep. You don't want a Boerboel to bite first, ask later. You want a Boerboel to uh, be able to sit back, assess the situation. Do my humans need protecting? If not, I'll stand there and guard them with my life, but they don't need protecting. So I'm not going to run out this door down the street and bite this guy on the bicycle. I'm not going to be over aggressive in my protection. I'm going to do what I need to do. Now, if I got to snatch somebody's wrist off, I will, but I'm
Right.
not just going to jump out because somebody knocked at the door. It's a liability.
So, big bro, let me ask you this:
Yes, sir.
how do we measure that guarding, defending capability? Okay, we got Southern Ohio. We're gonna let him in, but let me ask the question, bro. You just disappeared. But how do you suggest that we measure a dog's the Boerboel's guardian protective nature and quantify that so that we are able to preserve it?
Good question. Uh, we do fortunately have some people that do have livestock they need to guard. They do have ranches. And again, my SKB Midwest ran into a situation uh, earlier this month, at the beginning of January. I don't think it was the end of December, where they have pigs. So they have pigs. So they have my Midwest has pigs, potbelly pigs, and they live in a real rural area, and they have coyotes. So they heard a lot of stuff going on at night. They heard the dog out there, and they went out there, found a dead coyote. So
Mm.
they have a video of it up on their page on Instagram. So it's one. I don't want to say you don't know until you know, but it's you don't know until you know. I'm a man. I like to use a lot of examples, but I
That's
was in the
good.
yeah, I was in the military. I served 20 years, infantryman. If people don't know that, so infantryman. I spent 20 years either being trained to kill, training other people to kill, are in a foreign land practicing that, right? So that's how I spent my 20 years in the military. Uh, but when you're doing all that training people to shoot, when you're doing all this and you're firing and maneuvering, you're doing all your combat skills and you're doing that training, you still don't freaking know until you're in combat. You don't know who's gonna have your back and shoot somebody until they have your back and shoot somebody. And so that's kind of what the Boerboel. You don't know until you know, but the best thing is that it's a deterrence. It's a physical deterrence. I see this dog here, and I don't want none of that. I don't want to risk that this big mofo is going to bite me. So I'm not even gonna go that direction. Uh, and that is one of the reasons why the military has a height and weight standard, right? They have a height and weight standard. You have to have a certain look in the military or you get kicked out because the first deterrence is your appearance. So if we can scare the enemy and get the enemy to surrender before firing one shot, that's the best. That's the best kind of victory. If you can get them to quit before firing one shot, and you want your Boerboel to stop somebody before they even think about it. I seen that big motherfucker in the driveway the other day. That house is off limits.
Right.
That house is off limits. But again, in the rural areas where those coyotes and you have that kind of stuff like that, you won't know until you know sometimes. But again, our dog is tested and proved now. You know, the coyote corpse was a proof of it.
Right. Yeah, and I saw that, man. I was very impressed. What's your thoughts? What's up? We got Southern Ohio Boerboels Terriers in the building. He back again.
That's two in a row.
Right. What's
What's
up?
up, my
What's up?
brothers? What's up?
Hey,
I think my
hey,
screen froze up.
blessings, brother. We can hear you fine. Oh, and then
Okay,
as soon
what's
as I
going
said that,
on,
you froze.
brothers?
Yeah, man. We just, we just kicking the game back and forth, talking about
Sir.
preservation. You know, with how a lot of times you hear in the comments, oh, what the original Boerboel was. This is y'all breeding them too big. And I feel like that's just a natural evolution of the breed. Certain things are going to that we're going to keep as the dogs evolve. Certain things we're going to do away with because it just doesn't fit. And we talking about, you know, like I had took the dog Joku out, but I don't use Joku in my breeding program heavily. He just too much dog for the average owner, you know. So what that we was just kind of like kicking it back and forth. Certain things that we find value within breed. How are we going to measure and maintain those breeds in future generations and keep this dog valuable so that it maintains his place in our society as one of the best dog breeds that has ever been invented. So what's your thoughts on that, family?
So what do you mean? What are you gonna take out of the board? What are you trying to take out?
Well, no, I'm not taking out anything, but we're not necessarily trying to eliminate. I feel that the breed is really in great shape personally, but how do we maintain these things and keep them for future generations? And as the breed is evolving away from, is that the way that it should go? What you, it's just kicking it back and forth.
Right, right. I didn't get out. I didn't get in your full conversation, but uh, I'm trying to
Well, you
see where you're
remember
coming
last
from with.
week we were touching on line breeding, right?
Oh, okay.
And I just
Right.
wanted to
So
make our audience, because you remember that some people are here just general dog owners, they're not breeders. You know, we may have some people that's aspiring breeders. As the breed evolves and it gains in more popularity, you know, we just want to put some blueprints out there, some frame or some references people can go and look, and then they can kind of make informed decisions. You know, we want to learn from breeds of the past, particularly when we start talking about show breeding, championship, you know, a traditional champion breeding where you celebrating a certain style of look. For example, with the Cavalier King Charles, you know, they have heart issues associated with it. They actually banned that breed
right.
from producing. And we just don't want the Boerboel to go that way. And it's our responsibility as breeders, you know, to maintain these things that we see that's valuable. And
I
not
guess
just
we're trying to find a common ground between the original working Boerboel, a show Boerboel, a pet Boerboel. So if we can find, because everybody, so We got people like myself. I'm breeding for a guard type dog, not a working dog, but a guard type dog that looks the part and it has to do the part. Terry, if I'm correct, you're doing one of the more athletic, more truer to the standard type dog that's going to be out there and can run that distance, has the lungs to do that, and the temperament to go and grab just about anything, right? And we got Jordan almost in the middle of that, and so we're trying to find that happy balance with the people that like to take their dogs to the show and prance it around the ring, people that like to have a big imposing dog, and then people who have a truer to the original standard dog. How do we get that happy medium?
Exactly.
Okay.
How we work together in this, we have to establish, our programs with the newer people coming in. We want to, these is examples of how you had to set up to make your dogs truly valuable to the breed.
Well, having a game board does not necessarily mean that it's gonna come in and attack human. All my dogs are game, but they're not people aggressive. Naturally, they're territorial towards strangers, but I could take them to Home Depot or wherever out in public, no problem. That's not what I mean by game, but they're not attack oriented dogs. You know what I mean? They still have the true gameness that I believe the original breeders put in the dog to be able to protect against that type of foe that they were up against in the plains of Africa. That's what I mean by gameness. They are built and bred true to standard for their intelligence, their athleticism, their durability, and more true to what I believe they were designed to be, a more athletic defender, not an attack dog. So I wanted to clear that up straight off the rip. They don't, any one of my dogs, other than the dogs I've trained to be a guard dog, you can come pet them, play with them, and all that. But far as showing fearlessness, uh, they're second to none. That's what I mean by games. And that is in the breed standard. If you look at the breed standard, I don't know what's breed standard a lot of breeders go by or if they even follow it or whatnot. But uh, they're supposed to be a sociable dog, not overly friendly. They're supposed to show confidence all the
What's that
time.
word they
They're
throw
not
around?
supposed to be
Aloof.
yeah, you're not supposed to have a Boerboel that comes up and is friendly with everyone. That's not what they were bred to be. You can uh, raise them to be that way, but naturally they weren't. They're not supposed to be like that. They're supposed to be loving and caring and affectionate with their family members, but people outside of their family, they're not supposed to be like that. I understand what you're saying. Everybody has their own way they're going with breeding, but if you're breeding a Boerboel, uh, there's certain characteristics a Boerboel should have, in my opinion, for it to be considered a real Boerboel.
Okay.
If you take away that heart and that gameness out of them, how is it a Boerboel? A Boerboel was designed to protect in the first place. The show and the pet and all that, I get it, but everyone that's bought a dog from me wanted a Boerboel. They didn't want a 200-pound couch potato that is scared of their own shadow at sometimes. I've had people call me and they've bought dogs from people before, and they have these certain ticks and quirks about them, scared of fireworks, gunshots, just different stuff that can't take them hunting. They want a more steadfast bred dog, that they can take out and do certain activities with. So that's what I my clients so far have asked for. That's what I've been giving them.
So let me say something real quick because I want to touch on that game. There's that's a real dog man talk. So for the audience, gameness is a dog ability or a person's ability to take a lick. This is how I define it, and then keep on ticking. The dog should still be able to take punishment and then continue to move forward. to continue to engage. It shouldn't take a lick and then turn and tuck his tail and cur out. So cur out means like submit. When you're talking about, and that's something that is really elusive in a lot of different arenas, because naturally for a domesticated animal, when it takes this hit, when it takes that first hit, it starts going into survival mode, where okay, I can recognize that you bigger, you a lion, you stronger. It's not in my best interest to battle you. That's normal, common, not that's this basic survival. But when you're talking about gameness, when you're talking about protective abilities, that dog should still take the punishment despite being severely injured, still continue into its task of protecting. So that's what gameness is, one way to explain it. And it's hard to arrive at that without some form of measure. How do we measure? That's what I would like to get to. How can we measure that in a way that we're able to say accurately predict it in the future generations? That type of thing. But it doesn't necessarily have to be measured, because we can rely on Southern Ohio Boerboels when we need that in our programs, right? Because you have defined your breeding program as true to game. You're looking for the game bred Boerboel. So that's preservation breeding, defining your program. And as new people come in, as the new breed enthusiasts, people looking for dogs, it's important for you to understand, what do you seek in your puppies? Like you said, your audience, your clientele, they find that valuable. If you're not able to explain why you're producing that and what your goals are, then how does it add value to the breed? Right? You have you're not just producing dogs indiscriminately. And I think that it's so
my brother.
important. So it's
No,
very,
sir.
yeah, it's really, really important to understand, Barack.
Hey,
Big
let me ask you this.
Say what, family?
I don't want to cut you off though. I want to ask Savage Kingdom this though. So you say you want your dog to look the part, right?
Yes.
So what you gonna do, or what that dog gonna do when somebody say, I'm gonna make this dog show me what he gonna do? You see what I'm saying? So some people might say, oh, he looked the part, but he's wagging his tail. He's showing he's friendly. I know dogs. I'm gonna try this dog. You know what I'm saying? Then what? What do you?
You got to look at it from a different different perspectives of who owns the dogs and where. So for me, and this is just me personally,
Right.
my dog is here to give me 6 seconds. Like I'm trained with firearms again, 20 years in the military. You give me 6 seconds so I don't have to sleep with my pistol underneath the pillow. I got time to get it out the dresser because I got little kids. I just don't want it sitting on the nightstand anymore. You
Right.
you look crazy for a few seconds so I can get that pistol, and then I'm going to handle that. And then I have to think about the suburban housewife that might like to go jogging at night. She takes her dog with her. Again, it's a deterrence. You gotta hope that dog isn't gonna run and turn tail and bite, but and run and leave you there. But somebody that's determined to get you, if they're gonna snatch that lady, they don't care if that dog's gonna bite anyway. Because if I look at somebody and I like, man, I don't know about that dog, I'm gonna fucking try him. I'm gonna try him. I'm already have a solution for if it doesn't work. If
Right.
I'm going to run up on Jordan and Jordan has Balto and I'm looking, man, that dog's fucking big, but I want to beat Jordan's ass. But man, this dog might bite me. But I'm not running up on Jordan unless I already got something to handle that dog if he don't run.
Right.
You know,
First, you're gonna have to, and see,
I-
and that I think that's a great point to make, because that's a fundamental. Today's the modern society, you're gonna have to make a choice, right? You gotta remember, you thinking of the mind of a criminal. Man, I'm not trying to make a whole lot of noise. I know if I come over there to rob something, I got to pop something. I'm gonna have to pop him, or I'm gonna have to pop the dog.
Yeah.
One or the two is gonna make some noise. So now this is not just a burglary or a robbery. We're talking about a murder. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, man, you know, the thief is looking for something sweet. He trying to get him a hit. You know, the next cert or whatever, just something quick, something easy. And I think when you put that thought in the person's mind, they don't. 9 times out of 10, I've only had maybe once, 2, 3 situations where the dog bit someone and it was appropriate. You know,
if I'm coming to rob you, your dog might deter me. Your dog is going to deter me if I'm coming to rob you.
You
right?
got to plan it. You got to plan for
I'm
that.
coming to kill you. I don't care what kind of game dog you got. That's factored in. Right? That's factored in. You and your dog getting it.
Right.
It don't matter if you got 20 true to form, but they all getting it.
Everybody got to go.
So, yeah, they all
Wrong
getting
place,
it.
wrong time.
I don't factor that in there. You want these dogs again? It's the intimidation factor, and I'm not gonna say every dog's gonna bite. I over socialize Barack. You come in this house, but everybody in my office that I usually broadcast from, Barack knows if he sees you in that office, he's wagging his tail. He sees you there. He's petting and he's slobbing all over you. If you come in this door right now and Barack is laying on the floor from me, that motherfucker's gonna get up. He's gonna do. It might be a fake charge, but he's gonna do a fake charge. And if I see him through that door and he does that fake charge, it might be a fake charge, but if he's gonna do that fake charge. And you know what that fake charge is gonna do for me? He gonna, and this is how you're gonna hear. Oh fuck! I'm in the room grabbing my fucking pistol while they're hesitating, and then this is like. That's what's gonna happen. I need that 6 seconds to get to my pistol, so my pistol wasn't sitting on the couch with me. I need that 6 seconds. Let me get to my pistol. They probably had so if they came in this house and they knew and they tested Barack, they done shot that motherfucker anyway. They done shot Barack anyway. So they first 2 bullets went into Barack, and so instead of going into me, they first 2 shots went into Barack, and he. I'm in the room loading up. They shot my motherfucking dog.
Right. I'm John Wick. Now you gonna tell me you're Wick. I'm coming for everybody. I'm coming for everybody.
But man, yeah, I'm just talking, but it would be good to have a dog that is gonna jump and snatch something.
Yeah, and that's where we have working as a community. That at the end of the day, this is where the need for having community supporting each other, knowing where the dogs is at, building these networking and relationships. At the end of the day, we able to evolve the breed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, where it maintains its utility.
On the other end, my son is in the Army now. He's 25 years old. He's stationed out here with me, and he lives here with me. So my son has girls coming in and out and his homeboys and stuff like that. And that's why I say Barack do his fake charge, because sometimes my son is lazy and I hear that door go, because he done did the automatic lock with his phone. Now, one of his homeboys walk into this door, Barack do his little fake charge or whatever like that. But if he snatches that motherfucker, he's getting put down by the city. My whole kennel's getting erased. You know what I mean? And now he done mauled one of my son's friends. Or, my son think I have Barack in the garage, or I have him in the room locked up, and he has a little girl over at the house, and he thinks Barack is caged up, and she leaves his room to go to the bathroom. I'm about to snatch this bitch. You got to think about in the city where you're at, your house, and NFL players and stuff. They have this big dog, a Barack progeny, one of your progeny, somebody's progeny. They have people in and out the house, housekeepers, stuff like that. They can't have a dog.
You got to have your dog trained, though. You
A
got
trained dog?
you have to have your dog properly trained,
Yeah,
regardless what type of dog you get.
yeah,
And,
yes.
and matter of fact, in the breed standard, it says a Boerboel is a type of dog that needs training from a young birth. What I'm saying? It's supposed to need training. It's supposed that's in the breed standard. You're supposed to have to train these dogs. So if your dog bites somebody, that's your fault because you didn't train your dog properly. Bottom line. So if you train your dog properly, I've had close to 100 dogs, and my dogs have never accidentally bit anyone, except for me. A couple times doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing, working with the rope, getting lazy, stuff like that. But I have never had a dog bite, from pit bulls to the Boerboels I got now, accidentally or attack anyone. Not one time, because they know what their job is from birth. When you get a dog, you just don't get a puppy and just let it grow up. You have to train your dog. You have to socialize your dog to your lifestyle. So if you have a lot of people in your home, you got Barack. He's used to that. So if he all of a sudden does that, something's wrong. You messed up because you didn't train him properly. Because if he does that fake charge and doesn't stop one day, you slipped up, not the dog. You know what I'm
But
saying? Like, so there's hope that fake charge don't never get real one day, because you got to have control of your animal. I
Yeah.
don't care if it's a Boerboel, pit bull, Mali, Shih Tzu, Chihuahua. You know what I mean? Little ankle biter, he'll get you. You got to have your dog trained to control of your
well,
dog.
okay, but let me ask you this though. Like you said, you got to have the dog trained. But what if you have see once you do the
You don't have to
protection
have the
training?
dog professionally trained. You have to train your dog yourself for your lifestyle. You don't have to take it to a trainer. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. You have to have your dog trained. You have to have your dog under control. You are the alpha in your house. Your dog is supposed to listen to you no matter what breed it is. It has to be under control. Period.
I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram or not, but I've been getting dragged on Instagram all week, heavy.
For what?
I posted a video earlier this week on Instagram of a client I have in New Jersey. Uh, his dog was at the fence, just minding his own business at the yard, and his neighbor's dog, a German Shepherd, was trying to come up underneath the fence, just really going at, really trying to attack my client's dog, which is one of Barack's sons, one of his first sons, blessing. Uh, anyway, and the owner couldn't control the dog, right? Uh, Barack's son, my client's dog, never charged the fence, just stood at the fence barking. About 3 weeks later, that German Shepherd made it over the fence. Blessings killed the German Shepherd. And, we posted about it on the video. We showed the video and talked about what happened. And people have been going off on me all week long. I mean, just go read the comments. I've been getting death
Hmm.
threats. You know you had this crazy dog. Your dog killed a beautiful dog. You should have fixed the fence. And I've been arguing all week. The
So
fence was flimsy.
the German Shepherd violated his yard, and it's somehow a dog you bred fault
Yes, that it killed. You
that
should have
happened.
fixed the fence. Like this dog never tried to go over the fence, never bit the fence, never dragged the fence. The
I bet
neighbors,
you the people didn't
go,
even
go
get a
watch the
ticket
go
for
watch the
that.
video. It's about a 40-second video. You watch the video and then let me know what you think. But everybody said you should have fixed the fence for your neighbor. Your dog, that dog shouldn't have died. Uh, what if this was that? I was like, you see, my dog wasn't being aggressive. Well, it wasn't my dog. It's a dog I produced. He wasn't being aggressive. He was standing his ground. My client filmed the video as proof that every time this dog is in his own yard, the neighbor's dog is trying to dig holes and get over the fence, right? But man, go look at the comments. I've been called
Hey,
everything that's the son of God
your dog got
on there.
your dog got some gameness in them, brother. Little do
Yeah,
you know. Why why you
that was his progeny, and he didn't do
they
the
got
fake charge. So
yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. They got some gameness in them, because anything that finish has got some gameness in there, man. Because
he
most
finished that
most
German
animals
Shepherd
will
off.
not finish.
But
Most animals will walk away once one submits, and one to walk away. But you got some gameness there because he finished. So you got some
but
gameness in there.
But one of the points I was making, this is a dog that I sold 3 years ago that's in New Jersey. I'm in Texas. And people have been saying, you need to get your
Right.
kennel banned. You don't deserve dogs. Why'd you even post that? This is so sad. That German Shepherd didn't deserve to die. You should have helped him. I'm like, dude, the Boerboel was chilling in his own yard. The
But how is
Boerboel,
that your fault?
go
Period.
look at
First of all,
that has over
I mean,
two.
you know,
It has almost 2 million views. It has over 2,000 comments. Go read that. They are hot. They are
Yeah,
hot
mm,
and over
I'll check it out.
self defense. Yeah.
I saw the
I'll
video.
check it
I
out.
saw the video where
Uh-huh.
the definitely was the shepherd was the aggressor, charging the fence. The Boerboel was defending.
Go read the comments, brother. I've been getting dragged all week.
It's I know what you're saying. You know, they're gonna come for you, big brother. You know what I've been doing, man? I just been telling them peace, blessings, and keep it pushing because you ain't gonna win with them haters.
No,
They gonna keep going up against us. But that leads me to the point that I was trying to make. The power once you train the dog, so that dog was just doing what it does naturally.
they hated that I said that.
What it does naturally. So once you start training the dog to behave that way, to solve problems, to handle threats with his mouth, how do you say the dog is not trained when it does that, when it chooses to make that decision? Like I have a lot of ladies clients or people that's getting the dog for their family at home. And I always go over the situations with the well, what if the dog feels like he is the leader, he needs to protect the child, he needs to protect the mom, and he's already had this training installed. Now you got a dog, who's gonna stop him? Who's gonna stop him if he
So
decides to get
you talking about a dog that doesn't have bite work?
with that bite work on him?
So if the dog have bite work, he's been professionally trained. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. He went to a trainer and he's got professionally trained for bite work, for protection work. That's what you're saying.
I'm just saying, once that dog has that bite work installed, and
Right.
you know the training, you condition the dog to engage and solve the problems. You said the dog have to be trained, but you have trained the dog to do so. At the end of the day, if he takes a bite, does the damage, yeah, it's not your fault, but you still got to prove that in court. You got anytime a dog bites somebody, you got to take it to the or even if it bites an animal, it have to be rabies quarantine for 10 days. The health department comes out. I mean, that's what they do here in Ohio, in my city. It's just a whole bunch of liabilities. It's just a whole bunch of hassle that's unnecessary, that's associated with the dog biting someone. And most of the time, it's going to be somebody innocent. You know what I'm saying? Like my cousin had a Boerboel at his house. One of my other cousins went over there playing around, messing with the dog. She gets bit. We talking about $80,000 worth of damage to her, $80,000 in medical bills. They had to graft skin off of her behind in order to put back on her leg or something crazy like that. But this was a family member. My dog had bit. I had a female dog that would just warning bite. She bit 13 people. And it was just like, I was so lucky because none of the people went to the police. You know, I was able to settle it up like for relatively cheap. But that always rested in the back of my mind. Had the dog really been a Boerboel or a male, it was a Connie Corso at that time making all those bites. But I just had always thought to myself, if this Boerboel does something like that, it's gonna be it's gonna be serious. It's going, and it could also I feel like you look at the bully breed and what happened to the bullies over there in UK, how they have completely banned the bullies. We have breed specific legislation in the past where you can't get insurance if you own certain breeds of dogs. And I feel like that this is not the direction that we want to go in. I know I ain't trying to pay no extra insurance because I own a Boerboel.
Hey, all right, I hear what you're saying, but so Savage Kingdom, he don't breed for gameness at all, right? One of his pups just defended himself and put a dog down. So
Hold on, bro, going in and out. What you say? Hold on. He said Jason.
Hey,
He say
hello.
yeah, but it's still inherited in the. Go ahead though.
But
Y'all
he's
hear
not
me?
even breeding. He's not even breeding for that. It's in there. That's what I'm
I keep getting
saying.
these
That's
phone
gonna be
calls, man. Let me go
in
out
the
and come
Boerboel.
back in.
But at the end of the day, if you get a dog trained for bite work, you should be able to turn him on and turn him off. If he's trained properly by a professional to do bite work, if that's what you choose to do with your Boerboel, your Cane Corso, your Poodle, you better turn him on, you better turn him off. It's not in between. I don't know if you guys been around bite work dogs or any bite work at all, but if a dog is properly trained, I've had a D Bordeaux done for bite work, and I sold him to a new owner after I got him trained for bite work. So and he lived to be about 8 years old. So you can once you get them trained, they're not ticking time bombs. You know what I mean? You can turn them on, you can turn them off. Um, you're gonna have accidents across the board, no matter what type of breed you have. You know, like just like Savage Kingdom, bred pup 3 years ago. Just put a neighbor dog down defending himself. That was an accident. He defended himself. You know what I mean? But I've never seen a professionally trained bite work dog. Uh, and I've even been in the suit with my trainer. You know what I mean? So I've never seen that happen. I've never seen a professionally trained bite work dog lose it and bite anyone mistakenly. I've never seen it happen. You know, so I don't. You know, if it has happened, I've never seen it. You know, my trainer has been in, training bite work dogs for 30 years now. You know,
But let me ask you.
he's never even told me about an accident like that happening.
So to your point,
I seen like with Joku. You said he was trained, right?
improperly, if you ask me,
Right.
I
That's what
think
I'm
they put
saying.
the cart before the horse. I think they put the cart before the horse with the Joku. They rushed to the protection to the bite work without doing the basic obedience first. I think
Yeah.
that's a fundamental. You have to
That's what I
have a
was gonna
basic.
say. That's what I was gonna tell you. They have to pass obedience training first before they can even go into bite work. You can't just go to a professional trainer and say, "Hey, I want to get my dog bite work trained." They're not going to start training them for bite work. They have to go through extensive obedience training before they even start the bite work. You know what I mean? You have to take them out of public. It's an extensive process of like 12 to 16 weeks of basic training, obedience training before you even start any type of bite work. They have to pass that or they will not put them in bite work. That's to protect them from having an accident. You know, they have to be completely solid in general public in all type of situations. You know, so but yeah, that's the difference in between what I mean proper and improper. Like some people just do it at home thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna get on the bite, I'm gonna get on the bite. But that's not part of it. You have to have the dog under control before you initiate that bite work.
Great point.
I could turn my dog on and turn him off and give him to you within 1 minute.
So let me ask. You say your trainer 30 years. You was involved with the
No,
game
I said
dog,
my trainer. Like I've taken a couple of my dogs to a trainer for bite work.
right?
That's what. Yeah,
You mentioned the doggy D Bordeaux, but I would not classify the intensity of a doggy D Bordeaux. The game, I don't think that they have the same level of drive and intensity as the Boerboel. So I was going to ask you, what about a pit bull? Have you ever seen pit bull under that type of protection training? Then I
yeah.
also wanted to, I'm gonna give you a chance to answer that, but before that, just keep that thought in your mind about the training with the game dogs. But I wanted to touch on the pandemic trainers because you got a whole new class of dogmen that's evolved that was birthed through the pandemic. And those dogs, we also have pandemic trainers. These guys show up with the, and I'm only going to speak on my personal situation that I know of. Back in 2020, we had a dog trainer that was coming down from Detroit, and he was just he brought his bite sleeve. He was charging $40, and everybody can come bring everybody in the neighborhood come and he's telling them that he's training the dog to bite. So he'll do a little bit of agitation, and then
That's
1
their
hour session,
problem.
he may get 20, 30 people at $40 a bite, and they think that he's training them the appropriate way because he's able to get the dog to bite. I think it's important to understand with bite training, the dog's supposed to be you're training the dog to stop more so than to start.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Um,
You heard me what I say though?
yeah, my bad. My son just came. My son just came home. But yeah, like I said, it all starts with obedience training first. If they don't pass obedience training, they don't get bite work training. That now you got some unscrupulous people out there in the world that will say they're a trainer, this or that. They gonna get you. I mean, $40 to get the dog to bite. Come on, that should have been a
Bro,
red flag in itself right there. You know what I mean? Like,
bro.
call
I had to
to,
go.
to
I had to go
everyone
see it.
watch this video. If you want your dog to do bite work, call reputable breeders. Do your research. Uh, See how long they've been breeding. Check out their certification. Go see their kennels. Check out their programs. If they want to go to bite work first, you don't want them. Your dog has to pass obedience training first before they go to bite work. Like anywhere in the United States, you can find a real trainer. If you will not get a dog properly trained for bite work for $40, $50, $100, that it does not work like that. If they charging that, they're not for you. They should have they should have some type of certificate that they can show you when you go to their facility. And but if they're not talking about obedience training first, you don't want that. Because the dog has to be obedience trained before you can even think about putting them in a bite work. Because if they're not obedient, once you turn them on, that's when you have accidents. And that's when people get bit. And that's when people get hurt. They can possibly lose their life with certain breeds. So obedience training first before you do any bite work. That's across the board.
For sure. Say that again, man. Because
Like
I
I've
had to
had
go
pit
see it.
bulls obedience trained. Like my trainer has staffs. They have to be obedience trained first. If they don't receive obedience training certification, they're not supposed to be doing any type of bite work. Period.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that goes back. All this is great information and goes back to the original. How do we find this happy medium where we have a dog, we're confident that we're breeding, that we're confident will bite if it needs to without training. So without training, if it needs to bite, will it bite? And will it not
Hey,
bite if it doesn't have to bite? So we
I
got
got some on the way. I got some on the way. Wait till I breed your girl. Wait,
Panda.
wait till I breed your girl. I'm gonna put her with some of this, and that's gonna equal it out.
We'll
Watch.
put that fire on it.
Cause she is super friendly. I mean, she is grossly friendly. I mean, she don't. I mean, she loves every and anything. I mean, she tries not to step
Never
on
met
the
a
ant. That's
stranger.
how friendly she is.
Never met a stranger. Everybody's a
Right. Everyone, like, I mean, so that's why I said I know, like certain people want a little bit more friendlier dog, a little bit more mild dog. So that's why I said I got a super friendly Savage Kingdom bitch over here. I'm gonna put one of these Southern Ohio Boerboel males in there, and we're gonna give you some nice right in the middle productions there. And I'm doing the same thing with Midnight. That's the reason I went with him. He's super friendly, but he's gonna
And
add,
I'm
like I
taking,
said, that
and bro,
size and girth.
and I'm taking,
Okay,
and I'm taking Azul, and I'm trying to bring that bitch down to a manageable level because she don't get along with no dogs around here. And it's really
right.
don't. It makes it a hard life for her because she can't go out and hang out, with nobody. It's like she's straight up nutty dog. But I she have a place. I feel like
But you got her for a specific reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got her for a specific reason, like you know what I mean. So, like sometimes you have to go back, man, to get the real stuff out of these dogs. Like it kills me when people when I call her paper breeders. Oh, I got the thousandth grandson of this dog or the great great grandchild of this dog. Do you really? Okay, great. But what's the producer dog look like? What are they accomplishments? Where do they rank amongst the Boerboel community now? Everybody want to say I got a great 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 grandson of what you call a Rambo or this or that. You know what I mean? Okay, that's so watered down. Do you really think you got a true representation of that original dog? You know what I mean? So like I got a dog from Jason directly off of Barack. Now she gonna be closer. There's nothing's gonna be closer to her than any other of these breeds down the line. If I take puppies off of her, those puppies are down off of another generation off of Brock. Every time you breed away from that main dog, you're getting away from it unless you do some line breeding to keep that main dog back in there. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I say you have to do some line breeding to preserve that original stud, female, or combination that you're looking for. Because any other breeding off of that is getting wider and wider and wider down.
Yeah, and that's where the preservation comes in. That's where the preservation comes in because we don't want to lose whatever traits that we deem to be valuable, you know.
Right.
And
So, yep, I get you.
well,
But yeah,
yeah,
I
gentlemen.
can't wait to breed your girl though. I'm gonna put some nice stuff together. I need you to put that blackmail on that female, man. Phone just died.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The phone
Dang.
died.
Yeah, he said the phone died. But we was getting ready to close it out. You got anything? You want to say in closing, family?
No, these is getting better and better, man. I hope you invite me back.
Oh, for sure, man. You're always welcome, man. You know, I think that I can't. You know, we got the community coming.
Uh-huh.
It actually is activated, and this I want you to come in because we got some trade industry secrets that I want to go back and forth with you. But we can't just. That's not for everyone. We cannot give all. Everything can't be given away for free. We can't give them everything for free.
Man, I've been getting so many messages about green tripe this week, man. I've been getting so many messages about green, where to get it, how to get it, how to give it to the dog. I've been getting, man. So, like you said,
Hey.
we want to give out the knowledge that we need to give out, but it is a couple of trade secrets in there, man.
Yeah. So we gonna start doing that. We can have our Zoom meetings for our own private, you know what I'm saying, community of our own private clients and stuff. So I want you to get on. We gonna get on that and get that going. And at the end of the day, like you said, man, this is getting better and better. I'm extremely excited. I think that we had covered a lot of different valuable perspectives, you know, from different people. You know, we got a different. Everybody got, but it's valuable information that we exchanging back and forth. You know,
Yeah,
and then give
you
people
put
something
together
to think about.
you put together a platform that is going to go from uh okay, I think I'll watch it to I want to watch it to I gotta watch it to it's a vital part. This platform you're making it, and I see it growing, and I see it in you. This is going to be a vital platform for anybody that's in the Boerboel community or want to be in the Boerboel community. And I'm just excited to be a small part of it, just an itty bitty part of it. Because again, this is going. I can see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing here, and it's going to be vital and necessary and very insightful and helpful. So, applause, brother. Kudos for what you're doing.
Thanks, bro. Thank you for contributing. Because you know what, though, at the end of the day, you know, it's about the community. It's for us, you know. And guess what? With these, we might be 10 generations out of Boerboels, but people gonna have our thoughts and ideas as a reference, you know, and that's something to consider before they make decisions and get informed decisions. And at the end, we helping people, man.
Man, that people gonna be saying, man, 20 years from now, man, you watch that dude that's crazy about Boerboels, man. He crazy for the Boerboels, the Boer bug, man. Watch it, man. And they're gonna get something that they forgot or didn't know, and it's gonna be valuable. It's gonna be something that if you want to know about this breed, you gotta watch this guy, what he talked about, his program, insightful, helpful, and the development of where this breed is going to. So again, outstanding job, brother.
Thanks, big bro. Thanks, big bro. Boy, buddy, we gone. Hey, I hope y'all picked up something that we put down because we dropped the gems every single time. We giving you some news that you can use. And like I said, we hope that you came and leave with something more valuable, something that you picked up. If you just got a little bit more, then we achieved our goals. We're just trying to make this better. Everybody get better a little bit by the day. And that's the end of that's our end goal, just to get a little bit better. If we just get a little bit better every time, we growing. I hope that y'all enjoyed the show. We so happy to have y'all watching us. We appreciate y'all spending time with us. We're going to continue to invest in this, make it better, make it more informative and entertaining as well. I'm Jordan Pittman with Exotic Boerboels. Thank you to my special guest Jason Gibson, Terry with Jason Gibson with Savage Kingdom, Terry with Southern Ohio. Y'all, anybody else, stay tuned. We'll be back at it next week.
Appreciate you, brother. Blessings. Thank you again.
Thanks, Chief. All right, man. Next week, man. Stay tuned. All right, buds. We gone, y'all. Peace, love, blessings. Stay active and get busy with them dogs, y'all. We got a big event coming up.
No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your